Welcome to today's webinar. Today, what we are going to do is talk about how to profit with free social media traffic. So if you want to profit and you want free traffic and you want a pretty simple way to do it, this is the call for you, or the webinar, or the live stream, or whatever we call these days. So if you can hear me okay, type something in the box and let me know. And we're going to get this show on the road and talk about how to make this stuff work in a very, very simple way. Because I'm here to tell you that if you can post on social media, then you could profit on social media. It's the exact same thing, right? It's like the same thing. You post, you can profit. You just have to do the post in the right way. And it's interesting because everyone is kind of doing their own little social experiments to make posts that get a lot of people to like them and view them and click them and all that stuff. But there's not that many marketers doing it the right way. And what this all comes down to is testing and testing and testing and learning about your market. So let's go ahead and dive right in and go through how this stuff works and talk about what you need to do, right? So the first and foremost thing that you need to do is you need to remember that your goal is to build an audience. Okay, your goal is to build an audience. Now, first, what you want to do is you want to define your group. Okay, so what group are you going after? This is the same as niche marketing. When I talk about finding a niche on the search engines, same kind of thing with Facebook, right? Same kind of thing with YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. All this stuff is building a niche. That's all it is, right? You're finding a niche. You're refining a market. Am I going to go for people that are looking for help with addiction? Am I going to look for people that are sharing Bible verses or quotes? Am I going to look for people who like Tony Robbins or like philosophy or whatever it is, right? You're going to refine your niche, and you're going to really, really look at that. So first and foremost, what we want to do is we want to go through and we want to refine our market, right? Who are we talking to? Who do we want to talk to? Who are these people? Okay? The reason we have to refine our market is because this is a strategy, right? This is not just going out there and posting stuff like those spammers that are out there that flood your inboxes and flood your news feeds and everything with junk, right? We want to go out there and we want to strategically say, who do I want to reach? Okay? So refining our market is defining the question, who do I want to reach? Okay? Now, the reason we need to define this, and we're not just like, hey, you know what, I want to get a bunch of people to like a bunch of things, from clothes to my motorcycles to motivational quotes to pictures of my toast. That's not what we're doing, okay? We want to refine who we want to reach because that is going to determine how we are going to profit, okay? This is why everything that I do is laid out systematically. This is why if you don't yet have the Simple Sites course, when you get the Simple Sites course over at simplesitesbonus.com, you are going to see that it's laid out in this exact fashion, right? Getting started, niche finding. This is where you refine your market. If you don't do this first, then everything else is not going to work. People come to me and say, Marcus, what do you think of this offer? Well, what's your niche? I don't know. What do you think of the offer? Well, I'm not going to look at your offer till you tell me your niche. Same kind of thing with social media, right? Once you find your niche, you're going to see we go into profit centers. Okay, so same thing here. We're going to refine our market. Who do we want to talk to? Next, that's going to be subdefined by who do I want to reach? Okay, who is my ideal person? You don't just want to get a bunch of views or a bunch of likes or a bunch of comments for the sake of comments, views, and likes. You want to do this so you get the right audience. Far too many people are focusing on a broad audience because they think it's about views and likes and comments and interaction. And it is, but I'll tell you this. I would rather have a little bit of interaction from a very tight-knit group of people than a lot of interaction from a very broad group of people. Okay, and we see this all the time. A lot of my competitors are out there. They're doing the same kind of thing that I'm doing, and they're making pennies on the dollar because they're going broad. And it's like, you know, I went for this video because a lot of people were doing this, or I did this group on Facebook because a lot of people are doing it, or whatever. Okay, we need to define our own market. We need to refine exactly who we want so that we get a better conversion rate. And what this is going to do is it's going to make your time more valuable. As an entrepreneur, time is the only resource that is important to you. Right? That's it. Like, oh, Marcus, well, what if I don't have any money? That's good. If you have time, you can do this. Now, the problem with social media, and I'll tell you right now, this is the biggest problem. The problem with social media is no one wants to start with one. No one wants to do it. No one wants to go on Instagram and have one follower. They don't want to do it, right? It's a humility thing. It's an ego thing. It's a, man, I can't start that if I just have one person. I can't do this if I only have one follower or 10 followers or 100 followers or whatever. But I'll tell you this, every person who has a lot of people on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, they all started with one. It all started with one person, and you build and you grow. So the first thing you got to do is you got to refine your market and say, who do I want to talk to? Who do I want to reach out to? Who am I looking for? Who's my ideal person that's going to buy the stuff that I want to put forth or buy the stuff that I'm promoting as an affiliate? Okay, if you're in the financial market, then you're going to want people, obviously, that can afford the offer, obviously, that can fill it out. Like, they got to have everything that works that way, right? And so you got to really, really focus on that, and you got to really look at it and say, okay, who am I going for? Then, once you define that, right? Once you define that and you say, well, I'm going to go for a bunch of people who are looking for, like, maybe inspirational quotes or whatever, right? And you say, okay, what type of inspiration quotes, right? If I closely knit it to, like, a certain group of people who share the same ideology, then it's going to be a lot easier to sell things, right? If I go all over the place and I'm like, here's one from Gandhi and one from, like, I don't know, Trump, right? Those probably wouldn't fit very good. I don't think my Gandhi followers would like Trump quotes. And you get the point, right? You get the idea. You can't go through and say, I just want to get a bunch of people, because a bunch of people isn't what's going to make you a bunch of money. It'll feel good and you'll be like, hey, man, I got a lot of followers or whatever. But when it comes to money, you got to go through and say, how am I going to profit? Who am I going to reach? All right, everyone get that? Does that make sense to everyone? I know we're just kind of diving in here. Probably partly because I slept a total of like an hour and 10 minutes last night. But at any rate, right? Does that make sense to everyone? And hi to everyone who's hopping on now. Got a lot of people hopping on. We got Andrew, Bill, Sunday, Jay, Las Vegas dude, Tim. A lot of people coming on. Karen, Ben, Murthy, Carol. Lots of people. Cool. So that's the idea. That's what you want to look at. And again, right? If I did really, really broad topics, I'm going to get more viewers. I'm going to get more traction. Also, there's a catch-22, right? Because if you go broad, there's a lot more competition than if you go narrow. If I go for inspirational quotes versus like Alan Watts quotes or Ram Dass quotes or something like that, right now I'm a tight-knit group. Now I know what these people want. Very, very important to know what they want, know what they're into, understand them, get obsessed with what these people do, right? It's all about the data. It's all about understanding. Okay, so we got to refine our market. We got to say, who do we want to reach? Okay, the goal here, the goal of this is to build an audience. Okay, so you want to build an audience that anticipates your, I don't know why this doesn't let me use paragraphs, that anticipates your next content. Okay? How many of you guys are like, dude, I was looking forward to Marcus's webinar today because he always does a webinar every Wednesday and 10 a.m. And so I show up, right? I like to learn things. All right? You got to build an audience that anticipates your next content. And I got to tell you, like, it's gotten to the point where if I don't do a Wednesday one because I'm sick or whatever, I get emails and people are like, dude, where are you? What's going on, man? You've got a Wednesday webinar. Got to have this webinar. So we got to look at this and we got to be like, okay, we got to build an audience that anticipates our next content. Now, here's the cool thing. On social media, you could do this free. I actually did a test last year. I think it was May. And I dabble in social media. I'm not an expert, but I get really good results for what I do. When I first started Instagram, we had like 300 people on there, and I was able to make a lot of money because, again, what I'm showing you, refine the market, show who you want to reach, how are you going to profit? When I started YouTube, we started very structured, very focused, and I said, I want this group. A lot of other people were out there, and they're like, I'm going to try to get this group of people, and I'm like, well, that group of people doesn't have any money. Like, do I really want to market to people who can't afford what I have to sell? Like, do I really want to do that? Like, you got to focus, okay? Very, very important. Like, you could go out there and you could get a bunch of views with cat posts and cat videos, but I'd rather have people who own cats and buy high-end cat food, Like, that's my market. They got money to spend. I could sell them cat insurance. I could sell them all kinds of things because it's a tight-knit group. But if I just go for everyone who wants to laugh at cats, very different, okay? This is kind of like what happens on TV, right? TV's a broad audience. Football, it's broad, right? Girls like it, guys like it, men like it, women like it. Everyone likes football except for me, it seems. But they like the football, and it's a broad audience. So they're like, okay, well, we'll have some, alcohol commercials, we'll have some soda commercials, and maybe like get a new cell phone or whatever. And it's very broad. Now, in terms of the amount they make per viewer, it's actually really low. Well, but Marcus, you don't understand. A Super Bowl ad's like $5 million a second. Yeah, I get it, but for the amount of people, it's actually really, really low. Okay, in marketing, there is a holy grail number. That holy grail number is what is known as a CPM. That means, what are you earning per 1,000 people? What am I earning per 1,000 people? Now, there's no difference here when this goes into social media. What am I earning per 1,000 subscribers? What am I earning per 1,000 followers? What am I earning per 1,000 Facebook groupies or whatever, right? What am I earning? Because this number is what makes sense. This is what is going to drive everything. And we got to look at it, and we got to focus, and we got to say, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to refine our market, and we are going to look at how to profit. Now, when refining your market, you have to really look at it, because here's the thing, okay? How many of you guys have ever struggled with this question, okay? You have this question, and you're like, Marcus, I would start a group on Facebook, or I would start an Instagram, or I would start a YouTube, or I would start a Twitter, but it's been done before. Like, there's a guy who does that, right? Like, if you want to go into self-help, right? Tony Robbins pretty much has that in the bag, right? How many of you guys are like, yeah, dude, he's got that in the bag. It's been done before. What am I going to do to compete with this? What am I going to do to go out there and do this? It's been done before. But what I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, what would happen if back in 2004, 2005, we had a MySpace, right? How many of you guys remember MySpace? I made a lot of money with MySpace. I thank them for that. Really good, right? You guys can see my site. I talked about it in a lot of my stuff. Made a lot of money with it. But what would happen if back in the MySpace days, Facebook, like Mark Zuckerberg was like, guys, I really want to start a social media site, but MySpace already did that, right? We can't do that, right? It would basically change the world as we know it because Facebook is a disruptive force. Or what if Apple sat down and they're like, yeah, there's already a lot of cell phones. It's been done. Or what would happen if Tony Robbins turned to his mentor, Jim Rohn, and was like, well, Jim Rohn already does that. He's got a lot of books. He's got a lot of stuff. It's been done before, so I can't really do it. Okay, let me tell you, be the first to tell you, or the second, or whoever told you before, that it doesn't matter if it's been done before because you're going to do it in a different way, and you can have a segment of the market, right? You look at it and you say, okay, well, a guy like Tony Robbins makes $250 million a year or something with his brands, but how many other countless self-help people are out there? I know people that are social media people that have 1,000 followers and they make $5,000 a month or so doing self-help stuff. That's all they do. That's it. They have one little segment of the market. So we got to look at this and say, I might not be the next Apple or Tony Robbins or, whatever it is, but I can take and carve out my little segment of the market, and I could do it really, really, really well. Because here's the thing. How many people are frustrated with Apple? How many complaints are there about, Tony Robbins stuff? How many complaints are there about this big business or that big business or whatever? And comparatively, it's kind of low. But sometimes there's gaps. Not everything's going to work for everyone, right? We look at it. I have my course, and most people like it. 99% of the people like it. But we got some people who, they're like, hey, you know what? I don't like it for whatever reason, okay? And there's a gap where people can get in and make money in that gap, right? There's gaps everywhere that you can get in and you can make it. And whether you want to make $1,000 a month, $500 a month, $10,000, $100,000, whatever you want to make, right? It's there if you get that market refined and it's big enough and you go, 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 go and provide value to the market. We're going to talk a little bit more about what value is a little bit later. Okay, so first we got to refine our market. We got to say who do we want to reach and how are we going to profit. Okay, do not do anything till you have the answer to these questions. Don't do anything. Okay, how do you find your market? Well, we got a lot of tools in other videos. We have tools in the simple sites. We got the high ticket niches. If you don't know how to, if you're like, I don't know what to do, go to highticketniches.com, get a high ticket niche and say, I want a social media niche. And we'll give you one that'll work for social media that you like. Obviously, we want you to have one you like. So we're not going to be like, hey, you're in the fishing niche. And you're like, I've never caught a fish in my life. Probably not a good fit. So we'll get one that you like. But we're going to help you refine that market. So you got to refine it and say, who do I want to reach? Okay, this is the essence of niche marketing, but you're now doing it on Facebook and Twitter and all these other places, right? And you're defining your market and you're saying, okay, cool. Once you refine your market and you find out how you're going to profit, you have to say to yourself, okay, next, where are they hanging out? Where are they hanging out? Okay, where are they hanging out? Where are they? Are they in groups? Are they watching videos on YouTube? Really? What videos are they watching? Okay, are they on Facebook? What groups are they in? What posts do they like? This is the data that's being built behind the scenes that people don't understand, right? A lot of people don't. Like even politicians don't. Like if you watch the Senate hearings with Zuckerberg, it's like a joke. It's like, do you guys even have the internet? Like, do you know how it works? I mean, come on, think. You got big in politics. You ought to know something. But at any rate, I digress from that because we got to look at it and say a lot of people don't understand this. But what happens is there's data profiles. You could literally go in right now and you could go to Facebook and you could say, I want to run an ad to people who like this, this, and this. Boom. You go to the exact person. Or you're like, hey, I want to go to people who like this or who drink this or who share this. I want to go to people who watch this video, right? Very, very targeted. Okay, so we've got to refine our market. Say, who do I want to reach? How are we going to profit? Where are they hanging out? Boom. There you go. Whether you're running ads, whether you're doing it free, you have to do this. If you don't do it, you're shooting in the dark or whatever it's called, right? You're going at it without really having a plan, and you got to have a plan. Okay, so that's the plan that we have to look at. And again, remember, if you can post, if you can share content, which I know you guys are all doing anyway. How many of you guys like shared a content or you posted something on some social media site in March, right? How many of you guys are like, yeah, I posted something. Maybe it was a picture of the kids. Maybe it was a picture of, my breakfast. A lot of people do that. I don't care about what you had for breakfast, but apparently a lot of people do, right? Again, you can't go after what you think you want. You have to go after what people say they want, and people vote for what they want with their feet by saying, I like that, I want that, I do this, right? So how many of you guys did that? I want to hear from everyone because my guess is that everyone did. If you commented on this stream, congratulations, you participated in social media, right? There you go. So we got to look at that. So once we refine our market, ask who we want to reach and how we're going to profit, then we say, where are they hanging out? So we're going to go in there and we're going to say, okay, now that we know that, okay, we're going to get a list of like, where are these people? Okay, and you're going to have a list. You're going to go out there and you'll take a look at it. Like I know there's a lot of examples out there. One friend of mine, all he does is post niches that make money and sites that are being sold in certain niches, right? So he'll be like, hey, check this out. This site about, how to take care of a frog or whatever just got sold for $10,000. And his people love it. Right, which is really cool. His people love it, and they're like, "Hey, that's great. I go through and I do this, and it works." Very, very cool. And he's got a big following, like huge following. So we got to look at that, and we got to say, "Great, this is how we make it work." Now, it's very important that you do not forget the basics of marketing. Okay, we're going to talk about the basics of marketing. Does everyone know the basics of marketing? Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's these pictures here. Right, how many of you guys know what these little pictures represent? Okay, here we go. What do these pictures represent? And this is the basics of all social media stuff, okay? If you're going to do social media stuff, you need to know these. All right, the first one is attention. Okay, attention. Okay, The next one is interest. Desmond says, what do you do if you're not an expert in anything? You don't really need to be an expert. You could share content that other people put out, like quotes. You don't have to be an expert on quotes. You just need to know how to search for quotes about a certain topic that your people are looking for. All you need to do is learn how to compile information, right? You don't really have to be an expert. And if you do think you have to be an expert, then go learn to be an expert. You can learn more than 90% of your marketplace by spending like 2 days, 2 immersive days learning stuff. Right? It's actually not that difficult. Whatever market you're in, you just do the research. You learn the stuff. Because here's the secret. Everyone's still a beginner. Like, everyone comes on here, they're like, Marcus, you don't understand. I'm a newbie. I'm like, yeah, 99% of people are newbies because they never really take action. Okay? That's why. Like, you're always a newbie until you made money. That's like the deal. And then when you're made money, you're a newbie who has $1 or whatever. Right? So we got to look at that. Okay, attention, interest. Next is desire. Desire, if we could spell right. I can't spell today. Okay, and next is action. Okay, attention, interest, desire, action. So we're like, okay, how does this work? What does this mean? Well, if you're posting something on social media, whether it's the Instagrams, the Facebooks, or whatever, okay, we're going to look at that, and we're going to say first, okay, number one, what we have to do is we have to get their attention. Okay, now, the thing that doesn't get attention is like, hey, man, Sally made a lot of money on Bitcoin. Why don't you call her? Right? Those kind of things don't get a lot of attention because that's spam and it's junk and you don't want to do it because that's garbage. However, you can get attention by asking a question, by posting something thoughtful, by posting something that gets people to stop in their tracks and say, hey, that's interesting. I want to do that, right? Very important. So we start with their intention. If you don't get their attention, none of this is going to work. This is the basics of marketing. Now, how do you get their attention? Well, you go through and you're like, okay, first of all, I want to ask myself who I want to reach. This is the best question ever. Like, people say, well, no one's responding to my ads. Well, then you didn't refine your market very well. Because if you refine your market very well, then you're going to know what to say to them. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? Like, if you know your market, you're going to know the way they think. You're going to know what they like. You're going to know what they're into. You're going to know what they already do on social media and what gets a lot of traction, what gets a lot of people to look at it. And then you'll be able to go through and be like, okay, cool. I can make this work, right? Very, 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 very important, okay? So, let's see here. Okay, so if you know your market, you'll be able to get their attention. Like, if I know that my people are surfers, then if I post a picture of some dude in like a big tube wave, then they're going to like it. Or a guy wiping out, like, hey, watch what happens next or whatever. Those kind of things can work. If I know that my people want to make money online or something like that, I could post like a screenshot of earnings. If I know that people like inspirational quotes, maybe I'll look at quotes. Like, I could go and look at the top 10 quotes or top 100 quotes or top 1,000 quotes, and I could start to use that list. Okay, again, make it your own, put your own flair to it. Make sure you're not copying anything, but you can share stuff, you can give helpful things, and you can build a following. And what's going to happen is people are going to be like, hey, man, that Marcus guy sends really cool quotes. I wonder what he's going to say today, right? And if I do every morning at 9 a.m., I do a quote, people are going to be like, hey, I got it. Where's Marcus's quote? Where's this? On our sobriety channel, right? I got like 50 people every week who are waiting to hear our sobriety talk, thousands who watch the replays. And we go through and we're like, okay, every Thursday we're going to do this talk. Every Thursday there's people waiting there. If I don't do it, if I'm out of town or something, they're like, dude, what's going on, man? I watch this because it helps me stay sober. So we got to look at that. Share good, helpful information. Share good things. And you might say, well, 50 people, Marcus. There's other people with like 10,000 people. And that's fine. That's good. But I do pretty good with my 50. Right? That's a thing. You don't need huge numbers. I know people who sell $10,000 products on social media on a post. Like, they don't even have a website. They just do a post. They're like, there you go. There it is. Right? And they sell the product. Very cool. Look at things that get shared. Right? Things that get shared. Like, I saw one the other day. What was it? It was a cooking product. and it did some kind of cool thing. And all they did is film the cooking product being used. There was no voice, there was no nothing. It was just a product being used. They were like shredding cheese or whatever it was, or cutting apples or something like that. And the thing went viral, got a lot of views. And you can make these and you can build them. And what's going to happen is you are going to learn. Here's the deal. I want you to write this if you're taking notes. If you're not taking notes, I want you to take notes, right? I mean, you want to learn this stuff, take some notes, follow along. I know I'm entertaining, but try to follow along and get the value out too. But we got to look at it and say, I'm a student of marketing. That's what I want you to write down. I'm a student of marketing. What is a student of marketing? Someone who studies and looks at what happens. I put that image up. It didn't get attention. Why? I put that image up. It did get attention. Why? Right? We got to look at this. We got to say, why? Why did that work and this did not? If you figure that out, you get a winning combination. Now, we've done a lot of that work for you, but of course, every niche is going to be different. But we've done a lot of the work for you, and we said, okay, well, we can help you know what's going to work. We can help you know how to communicate to your audience, because here's the deal. If you take a guy with a big advertising budget and you take you, and if he has the budget and you're sitting here and you're like, I know how to get people to respond to my words, you're going to win. I don't care if you have a budget. If you know how to get people to respond to your words, you win. That's what this is about. The other day, there was a gal who posted in a Facebook group, and she's like, I'm thinking about leaving this thing, and nothing works, and I'm never going to make money online. And she got like 100 different comments. It was a fairly small group. 100 comments was pretty cool. And I was like, okay. And I wrote to her, and I said, well, you know how to post on social media, and you got a lot of people to respond, over 100 people. So here's the deal. You could either use this skill to make money or get sympathetic people to comment, because she was fishing for sympathetic people to comment rather than making money. And I'm like, it's the same skill. It's the same exact skill. All right, very, very cool. How's our stream doing? Is it nice and clear, or someone's saying it's cutting out? But I think it might be on his end. Okay, Carol says, what can you sell through quotes? The book the quote came from, or other books by the author. Audible subscriptions, right? You could sell courses by the people who wrote the quotes. You can sell your own courses. You could go through and do various toolbars that have quotes and things like that. All kinds of stuff you can sell, right? You just got to get creative. A lot of people don't think about this because they're like, quotes, people don't want to buy anything. Well, they're buying stuff anyway. Here's my philosophy. Everyone's buying stuff anyway. We might as well figure out what it is. And we'll be like, well, that guy doesn't buy that, and this guy doesn't buy that. But you got to go through and be like, everyone's buying stuff anyway. I might as well get a piece of it, right? That's pretty much what Amazon did. They're like, everyone's buying anything, so I'm going to sell everything and get everyone to buy everything through me, and I'll be the richest man in the world. Now, I don't agree with their business model or their stance politically and all that stuff, but hey, if we look at it for what it is, he went through and he built a way to tackle a piece of what everyone's buying, and now he wants to tackle the grocery stores too, so that you really can't avoid him, which scares me. I don't want one guy to control all of our grocery stores. That would not be cool. All right, at any rate, I digress. So attention, interest, desire, action, be a student of marketing, test things out. So many people, they start and they put a post up and no one responds and they go, oh, then this doesn't work. That's what so many people do. My buddy Brian Johnson, which if you don't follow Brian G. Johnson, great guy, just a great, friendly, kind guy. He always says that people quit before the magic happens, and that's true. They quit before the magic happens. If you do this long enough, if you figure it out, and you can hack it, you can go through and say, okay, well, I'm going to do it really fast in the beginning and get a lot of people to respond so I can get a lot of data. The faster you get data is the faster you make money. Plain and simple. What do I mean by data? I mean people viewing, people commenting, people watching, people listening, people responding, people buying, people clicking, okay? People signing up for an email address, people opening your email. This is data you want to know. Like, I know right now that if I send an email to my list about download marketing, like when I say I made money with downloads, boom, goes through the roof. Because I know that, I'm able to make a lot of money, right? I know that certain markets are responding to certain things. I know that markets that are looking for toolbars are usually visual. So I put images. How do I know this? Because I'm a genius? No. I know it because I tested it. I said, okay, well, did they respond to this? Well, yeah, a little bit. What if I add this? Oh, hey, that worked really good. I'm going to do more of that. Okay? Does that make sense? That's why so many people fail, because they don't want to test. They don't want to test, right? They refuse to test because we were taught along the way that failure is a bad thing, or that trying and not getting the result we want is bad. Okay? And it's not. Like, if we went to a scientist and we're like, how many times have you failed, dude? I don't know, 1 million? Okay, but I found a cure for polio? Like, dude's a success. He failed 1 billion times, but he found a cure for polio, right? Really cool. Now, we don't have to fail 1 billion times. It's actually because we're not solving a world problem like polio. We're just trying to make a few bucks by helping people on social media. And if you look at it and you're like, hey, I did 10 posts and none of them worked, right? Revamp your strategy. Look at what other people are doing that works. Okay, the cool thing about this, Tony Robbins always says success leaves clues. But here's the deal. When it comes to internet marketing, success leaves like a complete roadmap with pictures of everything, and it shows you exactly what you need to do to succeed. Like, you go and you're like, hey, that guy in my niche gets a lot of people to look at his stuff. Good. What is he doing? What's he doing? You look at it and you're like, what is he doing? Well, he's going out there and he's doing this, this, and this. Here, his posts are always orange. They always ask a question, and sometimes they do this. Do that. Okay? Don't copy him, but do that. Very, very simple. Now, again, no one wants to start with one follower, one guy, one thing, but this is where you start. You go out there, you do it, you make it work. Everyone right now, even if you have no money, can go post a helpful thing on the Facebook or on the other social media sites, right? You could do all that stuff. You could do it right now without any money, without any website. You could direct link. That'd be silly and stupid, and I wouldn't recommend it, because obviously you need to have an affiliate disclaimer and all kinds of things. So I'd go through the Simple Sites course and learn how to do affiliate marketing right and learn all this stuff. But anyone can do that. You could do it right now. Like Wex says, I just started a keto diet Instagram profile. Already have 70 followers. It's been 4 days. 4 days, 70 followers. He keeps it up. By the end of the year, you know, what's that? For like 15 a day, 20 a day, something like that. Like 17 a day. Let's call it 20 a day. Right? At the end of the year, he's going to have like, I don't know, like 10,000 or something. I don't know. It's too early for math, but it's a lot of people, right? So we're going to look at that. We're like, hey, there you go. You just do it. You just make it work. You just follow through. You make it work. And he's going to learn. He'll be like, hey, I posted this thing, and out of my 70 people, only 3 liked it. Okay, well, maybe I need to post something they're going to like better. Maybe I need to do focus. And here's the deal. Wex could go out there, and he could find, like, a picture of an apple. Obviously, use clipart.com so you have the rights to it. And you could say, hey, 1 apple a day in the keto plan does this. I don't know anything about dieting. I'm terrible at dieting and working out and everything. But it's probably why I'm not sleeping. I haven't worked out in 2 weeks. But he can go out there. He can find the picture of an apple and say an apple has this many calories. If you eat 1 every day in the morning, it'll help you with this. Right? I don't know if that's true or not, but he can go find something that's true. He can post it every day. Someone I met at a social media thing, she had a dieting Facebook group. It's huge. Gets a lot of people. She didn't know how to make money with it. I'm like, go do this. It's actually pretty easy because they're making a lot. Kevin says at the end of the year, Wex is going to have 6,387 followers. Pretty good. Excellent, right? Go through. You're going to get things. Wex says reposting is allowed too. Yeah, and the key here is repurpose your content, right? Like if you can make a little post, you could make a little video, make a little 30-second video and be like, hey, the apple today is this and that. And you could have a screen video. If you don't want to have your voice on camera, like, get over it. But if you seriously don't want to get over that, you can hire someone at Fiverr to do it, or you can go to Amazon Poly and you can type your message in there, and it'll generate a little MP3, and you can make a video. And I think it's free. I don't know if it's free because I have an S3 account, but I think it's free. So I don't know. If someone knows the answer to that, let me know. But that's the basic idea. It's like, dude, this stuff's not hard to do. You just have to do it, and you have to continue, and you have to focus. And Wex says, good idea. And Wex, I guarantee, like, if you do this, like, do this every day or every other day, next year you're going to be like, dude, like, your stuff changed my life, right? Because it will. Like, it'll help you if you do it. Now, again, results not typical, implied, or guaranteed. I don't know what you're going to make. I don't know what you're going to do. Some people might not buy anything off of your social media posts, but hey, I've been doing this a long time, and I think you can get the results. That's the idea. Okay, so now that we have this, what do we want to do? Okay, so we're going to go through and we're like, okay, we got to get their attention, interest, desire, action. That's the basis of everything you do online. Now, notice when you do a post, okay, Johnny says Poly isn't free, but it's dirt cheap. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think it's free if you have an Amazon S3 because I pay like $500 a month to host my videos there. Which, by the way, we are aware of the videos that are down in Simple Sites. It'll be fixed probably this afternoon or tomorrow morning. Okay, so attention to interest. Now, the reason you want to do this is because here's the deal, okay? You got to know who you're talking to. You got to get their interest. You got to get their desire, and then you got to get their action. So every piece of content, when Wex goes out there and he posts that thing about the apple, and then he makes a video about it. See, that's how much I need to sleep. I'm thinking about owls that stay up all night. He needs to think about, what do I want him to do? Okay, what do I want them to do? Do I want them to like it? Like, am I doing this? And you got to say, it's Amazon Poly. Okay, you got to say, what do I want them to do? So your action needs to line in with what the post was about. Okay, so you're like, okay, what do I want them to do? Do I want them to follow me? Okay, a lot of times it's follow me. So I noticed one of my Instagram posts recently got a lot of people from hashtags. I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. And I got a lot of people from the hashtags, and I was like, good. That one, I want people to follow me, because if I get a lot of new people and they follow me, then I can send other stuff to them. It's like building a list, but it's on Instagram. Very cool. Okay, so I could say, I want this post to get people to follow me, or I could say, well, maybe this post, maybe I want to get them to read something else, okay, or go to a link. Go to link. Okay, or maybe, like if you have all your quotes, you're like, hey, if you like these quotes, I actually put together 365 quotes in a PDF or whatever, right? And you're like, every day you could get a new quote from me. Go to my site and opt in, okay? This is the magic. You want to do this, okay? And for those that don't know, Wex says hashtags are the equivalents of keywords. Exactly. And very untargeted, or a very non-competitive in a lot of markets. So opt-in is kind of the holy grail. So you kind of want to do this where you're like, okay, I want to either get them to follow me, go to a link, or opt in. Okay, really cool. So those are the three goals that you would have. You never want to try to sell directly from a social media unless it's like a long-form video or a product that's like cheap that you sell, like the example of the cooking equipment. Okay, so the holy grail here is to get your people to opt in for free stuff. That's what you want them to do. Like, if they opt in for free stuff, then I know I can market to them over and over, right? Your mailing list is going to be like the big thing. Now, you could do this with mailing list. You could do this with your Facebook followers. You could do this with pretty much anything. You just need to focus on it, okay? And then the goal, after they opt in, is to send them other stuff and get them to climb the value ladder, right? What's the value ladder? The value ladder is where you just start to sell them stuff, right? And along the way, they're going to be like, well, I want more quotes. I want more books. I want more info. I want more stuff, right? That's the value ladder. And some people will come in and be like, I want to buy this thing for $100. And then some people will be like, dude, I want to buy something for 10 grand or whatever it is, right? Like the guy who buys the cheese grater might later buy a $1,000 set of pans or whatever. You don't know. You never know who's on your list. So don't ever anticipate it. I had a guy once call me. He was like, I watched one of your videos on your website, and I want you to teach me things in person. And he was like, I'll give you $20,000. You come teach me in person and help me set this up. And I'm like, that's cool. We'll do that. And I flew out and met him and helped him set things up. And, you know, he does all kinds of successful stuff on the internet now, which is really cool. But I would have never gotten him if I would have been like, oh, well, people only buy cheap stuff. You know, most people buy cheap stuff. Don't assume anything. We all know what assume means. All right, just break it up and you can figure out what it means. But we got to look at that and we got to focus and say, do I want them to follow, go to a link, or opt in? And if you keep funneling good content, they're going to want to watch it. Value is in the eye of the beholder, right? Whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're doing YouTube, whether you're doing Pinterest, Twitch, okay? Value's in the eye of the beholder. For me, I can't stand video games. I never liked video games. I tried to play the old version of Doom on like a 286 computer, and I was like, this sucks. I don't know why all my friends are doing it. But there's a lot of people on Twitch who play video games all the time, and they watch people play video games. And you might say, well, Marcus, that's not a buyer market. Last I checked, an Xbox or whatever they use is like $500. A game is like 60. People pay $600 for a gaming chair. What the heck is the difference between a gaming chair and a chair? But they're buying it, right? So don't ever come after me and say, oh, this is not a buyer market, because I've made most of my money in non-buyer markets. Let me say that again. I made most of my money without selling things in markets where people didn't want to buy a thing. So we got to focus. We got to be creative. We got to say, what's the way to make money? In Simple Sites, I teach you all that, which is really cool. So we got to get them to climb the value ladder and say, okay, how are we going to do this? What kind of thing are we going to do? Maybe you'll go in and you'll be like, hey, here's how to do level 1 of Mario Brothers. That's the only game I know about. And I still can't pass it. It's pretty sad. I've been playing Mario for like 31 years since it came out, and I still can't get it's those little turtle guys with the little hammers. I can't pass those guys. They always get me. That's how good I am at video games. But hey, people are out there and they're looking this stuff up, and they'll watch you play the game if it's going to teach them stuff. Some of the most popular videos ever are like that. Just because you don't get it doesn't mean other people won't. Now, of course, it's going to help if you go in a market that you get. Pinterest, a lot of people look at pictures of food and pictures of like backyard stuff. Like I was going to build, we actually did build a fire pit in the backyard, and we were looking at Pinterest for things like that and helping them out. And we're like, hey, cool, I could, do this one or do that one. Now, they didn't sell me anything, but they should have. There's guys right now that put pictures of wood stuff. Like I had a phase last 2 years ago where I was like, I'm going to build a bunch of things out of wood. I never took wood shop. I didn't build anything out of wood, and I'm like, I'm just going to get a saw, and I'm going to go for it. And my wife's like, please don't. Please, for the love of everything, do not get a saw. Go play with your computer, right? And so I got this saw, and I started building things, and I started looking at this stuff on Pinterest, and because I'm a marketer, I looked at how they marketed. And they're like, here's a desk you could build, and they had a little picture of the plan. And he's like, go to my website to get the plan. And he was selling the plans to build the stuff that he had pictures of on Pinterest. Brilliant, right? Get enough of them out there. Someone's going to be like, I want that stool. I'm going to build that stool. And he goes and he buys the plans for $40 or whatever it is. The guy gets his $25 commission, and he makes a living just putting pictures of wood stuff on Pinterest. That's it, right? Obviously, make sure you have the rights to it. It's very helpful if you actually take the pictures of it. But that's the idea. Does that make sense to everyone? That makes sense. We doing all right? Let me know how we're doing. I'm on no sleep, so I don't know. I could be like boring everyone or making you guys more crazy than I am. I don't know, right? So let me know how we're doing. On a scale 1 to 10, how we doing so far? All right, cool. So that's how it works. Really cool. Pinterest works great for that stuff. Or maybe you're on YouTube. Right? You can make little videos that help people with certain things. You could be like, hey, check this out, man. We can help you with this, or we can help you with that, or we can help you with this. Or entertainment. Right? There's a lot of entertainment. Like, there's people playing with toys. They're like, here's how to build a Lego castle. And it's like, well, didn't the instructions come with it? But for some reason, they want to watch how to do it, which they're probably like me, because I'm one of those people. When I build something, and my wife comes out and she's like, what did you build? And I'm like, oh, no, that bag's the extra screws they gave us. And she's like, kids, don't go on whatever Dad built, because I'm the guy who never reads the instructions to anything. I never do. And sometimes, because I throw the instructions, that's like the first thing I do. I'm like, I don't need instructions. And since that's the first thing I do, sometimes I go on YouTube and I'm like, hey, what do I do here? What do I do here? How do I make this work? These are Miami cigars. I always get these in Miami. Well, they're up from Miami. I have a guy up here who sells them, but I found out about them in Miami, which is cool. Like Steven says, the highest paid YouTuber is a guy opening toys. He's like, here's a toy, here's, whatever toys people play with, remote control cars or whatever, and you look at it, right? Really, really cool. So YouTube, you can go and you can do all kinds of stuff. The world is your oyster. You just got to do it right. You have to do it strategically. And guess what? You're not going to rank for the word toys with your first toy video. Pretty basic. That's the problem, is everyone wants to rank and get viral like tomorrow. And the amount of people who actually have that happen is very, very low. Okay, I've been doing this a lot of times. I've been doing this a long time. And we got to go through and we got to be like, hey, here we go. I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep testing it. I'm going to be a student of marketing. I'm not going to be a complainer who's like, oh, well, that didn't really, I didn't make $1 million yet. And, off my first post. Like if Wex was like, Wex could be sitting here going, I only got 70 followers. He could. And there's people who do that. And they quit. A lot of people do. But Wex is out here and he's like, dude, I got 70 followers in 4 days. I can get more. That's pretty cool. We'll get more. Joe says, I'll never forget your Stranger Things Netflix. Exactly. Right? There's people out there with episode guides on how to watch Stranger Things and like where to watch it. And they're promoting Netflix as an affiliate offer. Pretty cool, right? Obviously, don't use copywritten stuff or trademarked or whatever. But hey, you could go through and do that, which is cool, right? Facebook. Facebook is great. Now, Facebook, there's a couple of things I want you to look at. There's something people really don't pay attention to. And it's the power of... Hold on, let me get rid of all these guys here. It's the power of... You know what? See, look at that. See how smart I am? I can just select them all and move them all at once instead of taking all day. All right. The key to Facebook here is looking at... Where'd my images go? Over here. The key to Facebook is looking at Facebook groups. Okay, Facebook groups is really cool, and it's a really good way to go. Now, Facebook is also becoming a huge platform for online video and live streaming. Right? A lot of people don't know that. Competition, pretty low. A lot of people I know, they live stream like once a week or something. They make a living. Right? And they're like, hey, that's all I do. I just talk about stuff, and then I sell things. Really cool. I've made a lot of money with social media live streaming, so you just got to look at it and really, really focus. So Facebook groups are really good. Also Facebook video groups, Facebook video. And think about this. How many guys, if you're honest with yourself, let's see if everyone can be honest here. If you're honest with yourself, how much time do you spend on Facebook each day? Right? Like count up all the times you check it on your phone, your computer. Like, how many times are you looking at it a day? Like, let's say times, not hours. Right? How many times do you think you look at it? I probably look at it maybe for marketing purposes. Other than that, I don't have a personal account. But I probably look at it quite a bit, right? Steven says more than I want to be honest about. Yeah. Like yesterday, I spent an hour looking at, like, things people were selling on Facebook. Like, just, I don't know why I was always the kid who liked to go to garage sales just because I'm like, hey, what do they got for sale? That's interesting. And I was looking at like old boats and like 1920s car. Because one of my things, if anyone ever wants to get me a gift, right, I want a model, the first one, the Model T Ford. I don't even care if it runs or not. I just want an old Model T Ford. I think they're cool. Maybe I watch too much Laurel and Hardy or something. All right. I will get one day. I don't know how to fix them, so I'm kind of afraid of buying it, right? So a lot of people are saying that they look at this stuff quite a bit, which is interesting, right? So there's a lot of people. A lot of people are on Facebook all the time. They get little notifications about being on Facebook. So we got Facebook groups, we got Facebook Live, okay? Now, Facebook groups are really cool because it's a great way to get involved in a community. Again, the thing that makes social media work is community. That's why they don't like people who just spam the hell out of everything. They don't like it, right? I got a Facebook group. You can post interesting, cool stuff, and if you help, right, they will respond to it. Now, if you post like ads every single day, no one's going to respond, okay? But if you build the community and help, they're going to like it. Like I went years ago when I was first getting into Facebook groups. I found a Facebook group. Is actually the example guy I told you earlier, where the guy post niche ideas, post sites that were being sold and stuff like that. And I just answered a bunch of questions in his group. And people were like, oh man, I don't know how to set up a website. And I'm like, hey, do this, this, and this. Hey, I don't know what to do about it. And I just started answering questions. I started talking in the group. And pretty soon, the owner of the group was like, hey, dude, you help a lot of people out a lot. What about this? Right? Very cool. So I would go through and I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. And I was able to sell stuff. And he actually promoted things for me and made a lot of money with that. Right? I would actually watch it. I'm like, hey, now that I do a post, and I'm like, hey, you know what? If you like this post, check this out. There's a video I made over here. I would actually watch people go from the post because I have this little tracker that says, oh, they went from Facebook to got to this page. And I would watch them, and I'd watch people buy. And I remember, I won't ever forget the first time I did this back in 2009. And I was late getting in on the Facebook bandwagon. Still kind of late on it. I'm not a big fan, but it's good for marketing. And I'll never forget this first time I did a post, and I was like, dude, within like 20 minutes of posting this, I made $1,277. Like within a couple minutes, I was like, there it is. The guy came from that here because I had a tracker on the link. And I'm like, dude, that's pretty cool. Like, how many of you guys, if you could post something and make like $5 or $20 or 50 or whatever, you'd be like, that's totally worth it. But again, you got to focus on the community. You got to focus on building up the community and really focusing. Okay. Bob, I don't put numbers on the videos, but you can actually search them by date, right? YouTube has them by date, so you can find them there. And also they're on my blog by date. So. All right, cool. Okay. So community is very, very important. So we got Facebook groups, Facebook Live, we got community. Very important to look at. Now, the key to making this work is to build. Okay, you're going to go through whatever you're doing. Okay, if you're going to do Facebook Lives, like you could go on and you could talk about something. Now, Facebook Live, the cool thing is I actually found out that short form video works, which is terrible for me because you guys know that I talk long. Like I can't say anything in 5 minutes. I just can't even say my name in 5 minutes, right? But Facebook likes little live videos, right? You pop on and you're like, hey guys, here's how to do this. Like you could make a complete channel teaching people how to do things on their computer. Hint, the video professor, study that business model. Dude make like $80 million a year selling videos on how to use computer programs. Seriously, that market is still big. Like I make money in that market, right? I teach people how to use computer stuff and boom, there you go. And you can make a lot of money. And that guy was making a fortune. And you could literally go on there. If you don't want to be on screen, that's fine. You could just use your voice or hire someone to talk or hire someone to do the video, right? I mean, I have a friend who starts YouTube channels. All she does is go hire people to act in them, right? And she's like, there we go. That's a channel. And I have an actor who says what I want to say and I pay them. And that's how it works, right? You can do that kind of stuff. And you can do it by providing value. There's lots of people who do lots of this stuff. There's a huge, huge dating site. And the way they have all these tips on like how to date and how to flirt and all this stuff. Tons of viewers, tons of subscribers, tons of people watching, tons of social media traffic. And all it is a guy reading blog posts with images. That's all. It's like a slideshow with someone reading the blog post. So like you go to Amazon Polly or you hire a voice actor and they read it and you put some slides to it and you got some content. All right, we talked about him on one of our videos a couple weeks ago, which was great. Right, this stuff's not hard. You just have to get the strategy right and you have to know how to get people to do what you want them to do, which is going to put money in your pocket. Okay, really, really cool. So the idea here is that you need to build. Okay, you're going to build this in the beginning. Might be like Wex, and you're like, hey, got 70 people. Okay. Later, you might get more, and you'll build. And everything you do, every little brick here, this is a post. This is a video. This is a thing. This is an image. This is an Instagram, whatever, right? Pick a couple platforms, maybe one or two. That way you diversify, and you can grow on just those one or two. Like, I'm not that big in Pinterest, although I could probably hire someone to do that for me. Twitch, I don't think is really for my stuff. Twitter, I hate Twitter. I can't stand Twitter. I just don't get it. It's like, what's the point? But at any rate, it works for some people. So I just focus on a couple that I know I can do. That way I don't get overwhelmed and I don't get oversaturated and I don't get like shiny object syndrome of, oh, here's how to make money on this or that or this, right? I go through and I build and I say, okay, how can I take this content and make it for this, or make it for that, or make it for this. And a lot of you guys who follow me on Instagram, if you don't, go to @affiliatedude. That's me. And you can actually follow me on there, and you can see how I do this stuff. I actually have someone who works for me, and she takes my videos and makes little 1-minute snippets and makes little images of my quotes, and she posts it, and she gets all kinds of stuff out there, right? Really, really cool, really easy. You just have to continue, right? So many people, they start and they get like a couple of things going, and it doesn't like make them rich overnight, which that's not going to happen, right? You can make money fast, but maybe not overnight. And disclaimer, I don't know if you're going to make anything. You have to go through. Obviously, you guys get that this is a business. It's not like a guaranteed lottery kind of thing. But hey, it's not that hard, and I think anyone can do it. And I know a lot of people who do it. And if you focus and you build and you say, I'm going to do this, and people will start to opt in. People will start to follow. You'll go through, and you'll be like, now I have people in my group, right? Like if Wex went through and he started some kind of diet Facebook group, boom, there you go. Now he can go and he can make it work. Really, really, really cool. All right, then we go through and we're like, hey, we're going to make this work. And that's exactly what I do. I'm like, here's a video. Here's this video. Here's this video. And I post it. And I make the content. And people are like, how many of you guys come to me? Like, I'll bet probably a lot of people on this call right now have come to me on live chat. And they're like, Marcus, I love your videos. I want to buy your stuff. That's it, right? It's like, there you go. They love the videos. They want to buy the stuff. Sometimes they buy really expensive stuff like our high-ticket niche, which it's not really that expensive, but it's good value. Or sometimes they buy simple sites, or sometimes they join our mentor program. But people buy things from people that they like. And you go through and you're like, I want to get people to like this stuff. How do you do that? You share with them, right? They're not going to really know about you until you start to share with them. And you share with them to give value. You give value first, right? And you're like, I'm going to just give this value. And like Can says, yeah, I think that's what his name is. Be consistent. Be consistent. Do what you got to do. Be consistent. Make it work. Steven says, my videos are boring and my thumbnails suck, but they will get better. Exactly. Your first video, your first post is probably going to suck. I know mine did. Like if you watch my first video, yeah, I look like an idiot. But hey, you know what? I got a lot of money from that video. And people still watch it today. It's had millions and millions of people watch that video. And they like it, right? And, you know, it's funny because, like, half the time I don't like my content. Like, I'm like, man, I don't like that. I'm starting to get better at liking it. But I'm not the judge. I'm not the one buying from me. You guys are. So you tell me if you like it by saying, hey, I'm going to buy stuff or whatever. And that's how it works. So you got to build, you got to grow, and you got to make it work. And you got to really, really focus. Let me take a look at my other notes here, see if we got anything else. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, so very, very important to realize this is a marathon, not a sprint. I don't know why that made it so small, but let's see here. Control. I'm not going to do that. We'll just do this. This is a marathon, not a sprint. So we got to really, really focus on that and realize that, right? We're going for the prize. We're going and going and going, and you will get results. The key is to start with little results, see if you can get some sales, and go from there, which is really cool. And again, remember, this got to drive things to people that make, or to stuff that makes you money. All right, so really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm supposed to sell stuff now, so if you guys want to buy stuff, go to simplesitesbonus.com or get a high-ticket niche. If you want to do social media, ask us for a social media niche. And then say, Marcus, here's the ideas I'm thinking or whatever, or here's what I like. And we'll find you one. We'll help you build your site. We'll get you a domain, and we'll set it up. That's over at highticketniches.com. I think I can write that here. Right there. And if you want to learn how to do this all in detail, go to simplesitesbonus.com, get the course, and we'll help you make it work. Okay, did something get unplugged, or are we good? I just heard the unplug sound. Okay, I think we're good. Yes. Video working, audio working, must be something else. Okay, so let's do a Q&A. We finished early, so we'll do like a half-hour Q&A if you guys have any questions, and we'll take it from there. Canoe says, buy Marcus's Simple Sites. It's worth every penny. I agree. It's probably worth more. We have so much new stuff in there, which is good. And we actually teach you how to do the post, how to build your site, how to set up a blog. And it's all fairly easy stuff that you can follow along with. Really cool. Kylie, yes. Yeah, so it's still included. So if you get a high ticket niche today at highticketniches.com, we'll give you the simple sites as well. Okay. Explain more about the Facebook strategy and steps. Well, the strategy is going to depend on your niche, which is important to realize because the strategy for like magic tricks is going to be different than a strategy for make money. And by the way, one of the biggest magic stores in the United States is that way because of social media. Right? I watched them grow. I used to buy stuff from them all the time when they were small, and I watched them grow, and they got huge. Just from social media. Like, that's it. Some of the top magicians, and I know this because I used to be a magician, that's why I like this stuff, but it works really well. Okay, are you doing most of this yourself or using the occasional paid person? Most of my career, I did it myself, but I'm actually branching out now, and I've hired a lot of people to do a lot of things, and it's been good. I like it. Okay, explain more about the Facebook. Okay, we did that. Health and fitness niche. For health and fitness, I would look at what other people are doing and try to find a subsect of the health and fitness niche. Like, is there a certain type of diet? Is there a certain amount of weight people want to lose? And focus on that and make that work. Okay, yeah, you can copy the link and you'll have the URL to the video if you do want that. But we always send out the replay as well, so you'll get that too. Okay, Andy says the Simple Sites course is 100 worth it. Cool, 100% worth it. I think that's what that means. For Facebook, do you get a fan page or ads? I would do a fan page and ads, or just a fan page, but at least have a fan page so that you have somewhere to put them to. Do you do CPA or have a course for it? Yes, the Simple Sites course is based on CPA affiliate marketing. So that's what I use with my social media is either my own products or social media stuff. Spartacus, I do own real estate, but I don't know how that's relevant. What about a podcast? Absolutely. A podcast is a great way to go about that. Like the addiction niche, I'm thinking about starting a podcast because our live stream is basically a podcast. But you guys get that idea too. Okay, so any other questions, let me know, and we'll take it from there. All right. I just needed your advice on my site. Wonder how to niche it out through multiple Facebook pages, on boards, through Pinterest from a broad site. Carol, what I would do is if you're a Simple Site student, every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a call, and it's a private call just for my students, and we go through everyone's sites. So I would bring that up on our Tuesday calls. If you're not a member, all you need to do is be a member of either marcusmentor.me, simplesitesbonus.com, or highticketniches.com, and then ask on support for the Tuesday link, and they'll give you the Tuesday link. We just started those a couple months ago, and people love them. They're like, don't ever stop, please, which is cool. Is it good to drive traffic to your fan page with your site in the button, or send the traffic straight to your website? Send the traffic straight to your website, and then let the website send them where you want them to go. Like what I do is I actually set up pages to get them to go to other stuff. So one of the things that you'll get also is my social media plugin, which if you go to affiliatedude.com, you'll see my plugin. So what I do is I take them to something like this where they can subscribe to all of my social media channels. And this is set up, this plugin, so it works on phones and everything. And actually tracks what they want, right? So I could put like my latest promo here or something like that, or an ad, and I can send them here and take them to what I want. And there's a tracker, so I could be like, hey, most people are clicking on that or this or that. And literally, you could set this page up in literally probably 30 minutes at the most. Takes me like 5 minutes, but if you're new, it might take you like 30. Okay, where'd my questions go? Holy Crypto says, I joined through Kim for upcoming affiliate, but not sure which is correct product. We're going to get a video on that later tonight. So yeah, we'll get that going. Are you still planning on posting a replay link for the past mentor calls? We're still working out the logistics of it. So really cool. Roland, what did I pay for? I don't know what you paid for. You probably want to go to pcmoneymaking.com and ask them. That's my support team. They work here with me. So if you did buy something, they'll help you get what you needed. Let's see. Hard to find more travel niches. There's so many already. Yeah, we answered that earlier, where a lot of people are like, well, that's been done before. That's a total myth. Don't fall for that. You can still get in the travel niche. I actually have a friend. He solely does social media in the travel niche. Dude's making, last I talked to him was like 6 months ago, and he was making like $6,000 a month. I talked to him recently for an interview. He said he's doing better, but he didn't say the amount. And that's all he's doing. Like, he does social media to travel stuff, and he gets them to do travel offers, which is cool, like credit cards and stuff, which, I mean, come on. Really, not that hard. So really cool. Was there a mentor call yesterday? Yes, there was. All right, any other questions? Okay. All right. Facebook is quite strict with affiliate promotions lately. That's why you send them to your website. Like, it's all about the website. Don't ever send people direct to an affiliate promo. One, it's not going to sell as well, and two, sometimes people don't like that. Okay. Yes, this is replayable as soon as this call is done. If you just refresh the page, it should work. Johnny, what was your question? I didn't see it. Sometimes I miss them. They go kind of fast. Let's see. I don't see it. You'll have to type it again. All right, cool. Okay, Gert says, how much do I earn with affiliate marketing? I would refer you to my past videos where you could see direct examples with screenshots. Okay, Shelly, you're creating my high-ticket niche right now. Awesome. What's the ETA for completion? That would be a question for Jackie. Just go to pcmoneymaking.com. Say, hey, Jackie, is my niche done? I know I have a bunch I need to get caught up on, but I have not been sleeping lately, so I'm going to try to do them today. Okay, how do you create so many simple blank page sites? Blank? They're not blank, but how do I create them? I use WordPress and the tools in the Simple Sites course. Okay, can you give more examples of non-buyer markets and how you monetize them? Johnny, actually, I downloaded one of my old servers of videos. Let me see if I can pull it up here. One of my old servers of videos, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of videos. Like, it's absurd. Like, literally a lot of videos. And there were some videos I found from some sites that were non-buyer market. Here they are. Sites that were non-buyer markets. Like, this was HTML, gas prices, love, goldfish, beta fish, baby names, abs, bass fishing, cursors. So I would refer you to those videos. I think we're going to have to re-render them, but there's some in your members area now. Watch that and it'll work. Jamie, if you want to get one-on-one help, I would, depending on your budget, I would go highticketniches.com and sign up for a high-ticket niche. Or you could do Simple Sites, and you can get our weekly calls on Tuesday. Or if you need something private, schedule it with Alyssa or Jackie, and they'll make sure that we help you. Okay. Shaq, ask them on support. Like, if you guys don't have the email for the Mentor Me call, it probably went to your spam, but you can always ask them on live chat or on the tickets. Okay, so Jamie, yeah, I would get a high ticket niche if you can swing it. If not, do the simple sites and then ask them. Okay, when you make money from a group, you said you did the live stream and then sent them to buy something. Was it direct buy offer or opt in first to a funnel? Both. I've done both of those methods. I found it better to have them opt in because you're going to make more in the long run. And you have to remember that social media is a long-term game, which is good because it's a long-term game. You make money for a long time. Yay, that's good. So you have to structure for things that are going to last long. A list will last long. Your group will last long if you do it right. Content, make sure you keep a copy of it. Even if you do live streams, like when I do live streams, like right now, I always use this OBS Studio program, which is free. You can live stream on YouTube, Facebook, wherever. A free program. Like, it's a great program. I would have paid for it, but it's free, so go get it. It's called OBS Studio, and there's a little button that says record, and you just check the record button, and then anytime you go live, it'll also record it to your computer locally in full high definition, which is good because Facebook resolution's not that good yet. And so when you live stream, it'll actually keep a copy, and you can use that for something else. Do I still like and use AdSense? Yeah, I like AdSense. It's great, and I use it absolutely. It's not like the be-all, end-all, but it is a good income source if you don't have any direct offers in your market. Are all my videos on YouTube? No. As you guys can see here, there's like 1,100 videos from the old cloud. And that doesn't even include the new cloud. The new cloud, I think, is this old cloud, right? And these are all just tons of videos and tools and stuff. But what I would recommend doing is going through the simple sites in order, like get simple sites at simplesitesbonus.com, and just go through the get started and stuff. And when you get to traffic plan, we're going to talk about social traffic and video traffic. We're actually building out the social traffic section. And a lot of people are asking about the new version. The new version is being integrated into the old one, and then when it's done, we're going to rename it. So you do have the new version, it's just not renamed. So yeah. So like you guys will see, before the old version did not have the search traffic section. Now we do. And then when everything's done, you'll be like, yay, I have it's called Simple Sites Anniversary now, but it's the same content. Let's see. Are you ever going to release a document that states the best and most effective ways to get traffic? A document? That sounds so official. I don't know if I do documents here. We do have a PDF on it somewhere on my site, so you can check that out. Okay, I love that you started out as someone helping others get traffic. Oh, you watched the video I had last night. That video where I was talking in front of the people at the Simple Sites Intensive years ago was one I found on the old cloud. Yeah, and that's the deal. You just stick. I mean, it's not that hard to do. You just got to do it. Have you done some fixing to simple sites? I can now see more videos than before. Yes. I know there are a couple videos down that we're working on right now. I think it was something with our video server. So like if there's one or two not working, just sit tight. It'll be working later. Victor, it depends on when you bought it. So depending on when you bought it. If your receipt says 2018, then you do have 2018. If not, you don't. And this is actually the anniversary edition. Where do I go to find out about involvement with Amazon? What kind of involvement? Sometimes I feel like on Mr. Mom. Do you guys ever remember the scene in Mr. Mom where the dad goes to the grocery store and he's like, I want some lunch meat. And she's like, do you want ham, turkey, this kind, this. And he's like, too many options. Just give me cheese. Do you want provolone? Do you want cheddar? That's kind of how I feel sometimes when people are like, how do I make money on Amazon? Well, do you want to do Amazon and sell stuff? Or do you want to do Amazon as an affiliate? Or do you want to do fulfilled by Amazon? There's lots of different things. So you got to really, really narrow down. And that's why I would say, like, everyone who likes my stuff and wants to learn this, if you go through the simple sites, it's going to tell you the questions that you need to be asking, right? Because I've really, really worked hard at making this very, very, very organized and very systematized so that your questions are answered, right? Like you're going to go in here and you'll be like, man, I got this question about directing web traffic. And then if you keep going, the question will be answered, right? And I actually built this by listening to you. I built this by looking at the struggles that you guys had. And if you get a high ticket niche, you get this course still as well, which is cool. I would highly recommend if you can get a high ticket niche, do it, because that's like what my top students get. And it's the easiest, fastest way to get started. Okay, we'll go a couple more questions and go there. Okay, cool. Any other questions? Take it from there. And for the guy that was asking for the document on traffic, I would advise going to downloadmynotes.com. In that, you'll sign up for an email list where we send out notes from some of my videos, and you can get that. All right, so any other questions? Take it from there. How do you sell a direct offer from a Facebook group live? Well, you get a website, and then you put the offer on the website, and then on the Facebook Live, you tell them to go to the website. Pretty simple. I wish it was harder than that, so I seem smarter, but it's really not. All right, everyone in the chat who has simple sites loves simple sites, so I think you guys will like it too. Yeah, and depending on what niche you're in, I mean, if you continue to go live, you'll start to get a following, and then you just start to really learn ways of inviting new people. And, you know, I know people who go live, they go live every week, and they got like 10 people, and they're making money. It's like, oh, dude, I hate when I go live and there's only 10 people, but hey, you know, if you make money, you make money. And you'll never get to 100 if you don't start with 10. And by the way, there are some plugins in Simple Sites that help you with social media and will help you grow your following and the people who watch your live stuff as well. The amount of software you get with Simple Sites alone is ridiculous. Like, it's really cool. All right, guys, so we're going to call it a day, but I hope you enjoyed this. Go get one of our offers. Start doing this stuff. Ask for help. Like, get something. If you have a site and you don't know what to do with it and you're not making money or you have an idea or whatever, get one of the courses, hop on a Tuesday call and ask us about it. And we like rip people's sites apart, going in there and fixing things, doing mock-ups. I think yesterday we did a pretty cool mock-up of one. The guy changed it on the call, and I was like, good, go run some traffic. So it's really cool. If you guys are looking for someone to help you in this industry, I don't think there's any other better way. I'm a little biased, but I don't think there's any better way, which is cool. Victor, glad to have you as a subscriber. That's awesome. And we'll get you guys rocking and rolling. And yeah, Wex was the one. We ripped his site clean apart, which is cool. And I think now he'll get a lot more clicks because that's the deal. Like, if you don't get people clicking to your offers, you ain't going to make any money. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Go get yourself a high-ticket niche at highticketniches.com or get Simple Sites Bonus at simplesitesbonus.com if you can. Do high-ticket niches because I think that's the best way to get started. I'm going to be hanging out because I'm like totally tired and I can't focus on anything. So if you want to hang out and talk to me on live chat, you could just go to our sites. Like if you go to highticketniches.com, you can go here. Let's see, where is it? You can go to highticketniches.com or any of my websites, and you could look for the little live chat box on the bottom. Okay? And I'm going to turn this on now. I'm actually have it on our way right now. I'm going to turn this on, and when it's on, you can actually chat with us live, ask questions, stuff like that. If you have questions about products or anything, you can get me on there. And let's see if it loads here. Come on. There you go. And you can just click this, and you can just talk to us. I don't know if Alyssa's on right now. She might be. No, it's just me. Alyssa will come on in a couple hours. And talk to us and, get squared away because we want you to do well. That's like the whole idea here. All right. John, ask on the Simple Sites or on PC Money Making. Ask there, and they'll get you your info. All right, guys. So awesome stuff. If you want the notes from the stuff, go to downloadmynotes.com. For now, whichever product you choose, get started with something. If you're on a budget, we also have marcusmentor.me. So whichever way you choose, just get started with something so we can help you make money and make this stuff work. Thanks again for watching. See you guys next week.